You let out a deep, aggravated groan as you heard your obnoxious alarm going off across your room. You mentally cursed at yourself as you got out of bed to go turn it off. It was such a chore to get up, but you did. You grabbed a cup of joe and turned on the TV. You scrolled through the channels, boredom plastered on your face. The meowing at your balcony of your apartment caught your attention. It was your cat, Rico. Well, he was more like a stray that just comes for food, but you basically claimed him for your own. You got me worried sick, dude. I didn't think you were coming back this time, he said as he played with his tail. You looked up into the sky, past the fire escape bars and the neighboring buildings. Cloudy, you thought, as the cold started nipping at your nose. It's not like you hated this weather. You liked it, actually. The perfect weather to just snuggle up in your blankets by the crackling fire, maybe watch a movie or two while sipping hot chocolate with your significant other. You chuckled at the thought. What a silly wish. As you were daydreaming, your ears perked up to the sound of coughing. You looked down into the dark alley. Difficult to see anyone, especially with the fire escape in the way. But soon enough, your eyes caught a figure. A slim man with spiky hair, dark coat, and painful-looking scars on his face and arms. He was leaning against the wall for support as he rode out his coughing fit. You couldn't tell if he was breathing hard because of the coughing, or that he just stopped running. Something in your body told you to go down there, go help him, say something, anything. You opened your mouth, about to speak, when you heard. 3 buildings have bursted into flames on Claymore Street. There has been multiple reports of casualties and 2 deaths. Firemen and police are on standby for your support. You look back at your television, slowly walking towards it, watching in awe at the panic ensuing. Having this overwhelming sense of sadness and pity for the people involved. 2 buildings ignited in bright blue flames that danced around violently, threatening to engulf the 3rd building as well. After a good 5 minutes, you shut off the TV, anger surging in your core, knowing that all you could do is watch. You wanted fresh air. No, you needed fresh air. You walked over to the window, wondering if the man was still there. He was gone. You didn't think too much about it, continuing a day like any other. Lion? You felt your eyebrow twitch at the sound of the squeaky voice. She was one of the newer co-workers. She was around your age, very social, and a little too hyper at times. She joined about a week ago. Luckily, she's pretty good at what she does. Are you allowed to smoke around here? Yeah, no, sorry to burst your bubble, he replied, fixing up an old-fashioned for a regular. I'm not asking for me, silly. You turned, following her gaze till you were met with 3 men in the corner booth, gold and silver teeth shining even in the dim light. You recognized them instantly. They weren't common customers, but they did drop by every once in a while. Sure enough, one of them had a cigar in their mouth. You watched the smoke exhale from his mouth, going up and spreading out on the ceiling. You'd think with all the warning signs outside that they would at least read one of them. The newbie hummed in agreement as she started walking over to the men's booth. You were planning on handling it yourself, but she was already over there. You watched as she approached. Little did you know, another pair of turquoise eyes were also watching closely. Excuse me? The men looked at her, clearly annoyed by her presence. There's a no smoking policy here, and the man scoffed. Well, I'm going to have to ask you to put it out or step outside to smoke. You can come back in right after. The man rolled his eyes, and the men went back to their conversation. Sir, she said more sternly, waving her hand in his face to grab his attention. It's policy, please. Your eyes widened as you saw the man's hand snatch and squeeze her wrist. It's been a long day for me, doll. One little cigar won't do shit. So why don't you just... An overwhelming puff of smoke blew in his face, taking him off guard and releasing her wrist. Who the fuck do you think you are? He barked at the snobby, entitled man. You little... He got up and started cussing you out. You were doing the same when he raised his fist to throw a hard punch at you. You were about to activate your quirk again when all of a sudden the man was on the floor, being dragged away. Vincent, I had that. The bodyguard looked over his shoulder. I know you did, Wyan. The scarred man on the other side of the booth made a mental note of your name while watching the girl hug the breath out of you. It was about 2 days after the smoking incident. You were clocking out for the day. It was a pretty busy night. You were beat. Luckily, it was the weekend. All you wanted to do was take a long, warm shower and pass out on the bed with your fuzzy blankets. Probably have to make tea instead. I think I ran out of hot chocolate yesterday and your thoughts were cut off with a large stinging pain on the back of your head. You fell to the floor, trying to process what just happened, when you were kicked in the stomach. I'll make sure you respect me for the rest of your damn pathetic life. The man barked. It was them. Of course it was them. You took another kick to the back of your head as they dragged you into an alley. You were able to get on your hands and knees and kick a pair of legs to the ground, punching another figure in the face before making a bolt to the street. You had to get out of the alley. You had to run for the main road. Your feet made contact with the sidewalk when someone tackled you to the ground. They grabbed you by your legs and dragged you back in. No! Oh, shit! You screamed, kicking and clawing at the figure. One of them pinned you against the wall, holding you by your throat. It was dark, but you could see there was 4, 5, maybe 6 men. It was getting harder to breathe by the second. You were kicking and squirming. Over a damn cigar, he thought as your vision started to blur. It was dark, really dark. It was almost calming. It was almost like your bed and your blankets, like the deep sleep you were longing for. Almost. Then blue. Wait, blue? You tried to focus your vision, a bright blue light engulfing your line of sight, when you heard yelling and screaming. You realized you were on the ground, blue flames scattered around you, lighting up the alley. The smell of burnt flesh made you scrunch up your nose. The realization that there was fire around you made you jolt up and try to activate your quirk, trying to manipulate the smoke around you. Before you could do anything, an intense shock of pain hit your head, making you lightheaded. Before collapsing, through the flames and the smoke, you saw a slim, spiky-haired man with a dark coat and those hypnotizing, painful-looking scars. Your vision was fading. You were trying your hardest to stay awake, but the throbbing pain was too much. You collapsed. You were laying there, just starting to wake up, too tired to even try to open your eyes. You felt your chest rise and fall, feeling how relaxed your muscles were. You were preparing to obliterate your alarm, expecting it to start ringing at any second, but the ringing never came. You barely peeked one of your eyes open and realized this isn't your apartment. The events of the other night crashed down on you like a ram train. Your eyes shot up as well as your body before pain at your side made you wince. You lifted your tank top up to see a big bruise on your side. At least I didn't get shanked or shot. You looked around the room. There wasn't much to it, run-down apartment room, but it was nowhere near abandoned, kind of like your own. You weren't sure if you should feel afraid, safe, threatened, thankful. You sat up and got out of the bed, cold, you thought as you approached the door, hesitating for a minute on whether you should open it or not. You didn't know who or what was behind this door. Your stomach growled. Well, guess I'm about to find out, you thought. You opened the door to find a man at the dining table looking over paperwork. Alcohol bottles on the table and in the kitchen. The scarred man looked over to you. Isn't shine dull. You were taken off guard by the pet name, but maintained your composure. Who are you? The guy that helped you. Name? You rolled your eyes. Just call me Dabi. Where am I? In an apartment complex. Ugh. You glared at him, making him chuckle. What's with that face? You almost look ungrateful. What? No, You sighed. Thank you, Dabi. His lips tugged into a cocky, amused grin as you made your way over to the other seat by the table. Where are the rest of my clothes? They're in the laundry room. They were bloody, and you're welcome. Oh, thanks. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through it. You were about to ask if he had any food when you started to stare at Dabi's scars. They were so close enough to get a good look at him. You noticed the silver staples and the many piercings on his face. He had a sharp jawline and broad chest where his skin and scars met. Was this a part of his quirk? You thought, not realizing your hand was moving closer to him. You looked up to get another glimpse of his face. Shit, he's kinda cute. You thought as your eyes met with his sharp turquoise ones. Dabi went still when your hand cupped his cheek. So you like my scars? You quickly pulled your hand back, realizing what you were doing. You stammered in embarrassment. Don't sweat it, YN. He made his way over to the kitchen, rubbing your head and messing up your hair. What? Wait, how do you know my name? Well, that little incident with those three guys kinda caught my attention. I didn't know you went there. I go when I can. It's hard to get past your bodyguard at times. Dabi hummed as he grabbed a bowl of cereal. You hungry? He asked. Yeah. Then get your ass over here. Okay. When you heard the dryer go off, you thought that was your cue to leave. But you found yourself sitting at the dining table for hours talking about each other's lives. Well, mostly yours. Our dreams, our families, our struggles. You realized you felt similar ways towards heroes, though Dabi believed there was no such thing as a true hero. You also learned about the hero killer and his true intentions and the reasons why he killed the people he killed, and that Dabi was inspired by him. Around 3 o'clock, you realized you should probably get back to your apartment. Rika was probably waiting for you all day. Your apartment was a couple of blocks away from this one, so it wasn't too far of a walk. You couldn't help but feel sad when you were leaving. You just met this man today, but you feel like you two have known each other forever. Dabi wouldn't say it or admit it, but he felt a sense of loss seeing you leave, walking down the sidewalk, disappearing into the crowd. He already missed you and you just left. Maybe one day you will see each other again at the bar.